So here we are in Vancouver, and one of the first things we're going to do, see, our ship is still partially loaded because we have loads we picked up for Los Angeles, so we are certainly going to want to head back continue that way. We'll take a look at the options. Now, fueling costs. Fueling costs has a couple little bits of information. How much it'll cost to fuel up the ship. You can see the range of prices around the world. The lowest price in the world would be $106,000, $114,000 here in Metro Vancouver, which means that's not a bad price to fill up. Now, you can fill up your ship less than the full amount if you don't have that much money, you don't want to spend it, or the price is very high but you need more fuel. In this case, we're going to fuel up all the way. I'm going to take a little look at speed. Now, here is how it shows you up on the fuel marker gauge. It shows you how much fuel you use running at this speed. If we ran slower, you'll see that we will use less fuel but take more time. In this campaign, we're not going to run slow speeds at all because simply it's not worth it for us to save fuel. But there may be times when running slow will be to your advantage. The fastest speed is also hardest on the ship and will do more wear and tear. And let's say in this case, we are simply going to run flat out the entire campaign. All right, now since we're going to Los Angeles, I'm going to certainly take trips to Los Angeles. But now I have to consider which direction am I going to go after. If I take these ones back up to Anchorage, that's an option. I can take several trips to there, or I could head down the coast to Manzanilla, Mexico, and pick up those. And I think I'm going to try the down the coast plan, simply because we're heading in that direction. We can come back to Anchorage at a later point. Love to be able to take them. I think I'm going to commit to this set. See, we could take one trip guaranteeing we're going back there. That would mean we would have to go back there, and I'm going to see what luck we have once we get to Manzanilla. We'll go back to the world view, and while we're looking at things, I'm going to show you this little thing. You can check out each ship and see its status. While you're doing this, you can see where the ship is going, how much fuel it has, what speed it is going to be running at. Right now we're still paused, so I can do this without worrying about it. And you can set destinations. We can no longer change the destination because we've already cast off. But if we hadn't, we could have picked where we want the ship to go. And it shows ships running, going to Los Angeles. And I'm going to speed up time a little bit. Here, look at the ships go. And here we are. We've made it to Los Angeles and made some money. Tugboat fees are a little bit higher here in Los Angeles. But we made money, and we made more successful contracts. So we'll see how we're coming along. There's our rival's headquarters. That looks quite nice. Now we can't use this, but I'm going to show you this. Each port has certain facilities in it that you can purchase when you're playing. We can't do that in this mission, but this would be the place where you upgrade your ships. Manzanilla. This is very tight on the time. Okay, here we are going to have some interesting choices. So, well, this one is, we're going to probably make it 4 days, very tight time limit. We may not. I'm going to fuel up here because we always need more fuel. Okay, so Manzanilla is giving us some interesting choices. So I'm going to discuss a little bit about picking shipping contracts. Now what we have is a deadline. It shows you 4 days to get to Metro Vancouver. Our ship can make it at our current speed in 3 days, so we have no trouble making that. This is how much money it pays us. This is how much volume the cargo takes, and this is how much the weight of the cargo, the tonnage. Both reflect the capacity of the ship. When you put your mouse over it, you can see how much space shows up on this payload area. And there are different kinds of cargo. Here we have textiles and toys in this place, And depending on the market, some cargoes may pay more than others. Now in this case, I'm already committed to going to Manzanilla, so I have some interesting choices here. See these little signs here? These says there's bonus payments. These ones pay extra money for trying to make these ones. Now these ones are impossible. I cannot make it there in one day. However, 3 days penalty will still leave it a lot of money. So if I take either of those, or in this case, both of them, I'm basically committing myself to contracts that I'm going to go and be penalized on, and therefore not count as successful. However, I will make, even with penalties, over 2 million, and money is also of value to us. And I'm going to commit to going to Manzanilla with this one, which will make just fine. So we'll have, take a look at the whole contract list in a moment. So we have 3 that we have no trouble making, 1 which is a maybe, and 2 which are certainly going to fail. Now, failing contracts has only a financial penalty in this game, in this situation, but in other game situations it's possible that you may have other penalties for failing. We're going to cast off, heading out on our way. Now I'm going to get us to Manzanilla as quickly as we can so we can take a look at how our money is going. I'm going to take a look at a little bit more of what's going on in the status of the game. We made 3,377,000, but paid penalties of 454,000. That's still profitable. So money-wise, we did okay. Bonus is good. Tugboat fees, not too bad in Manzanilla. Penalties, yeah. So he cost us some money, and we also failed a contract. So while we're here, before we take up a new contracts, I'm going to take a look at the victory points. So here is what we've done so far. Now we made money, which is good. We are catching up to our rival. We've done 8 contracts in a time. Our competitor has done 11. So at this point, we are still trying to both make all of our goals. We have not delivered 20 contracts on the time. That should not be too trouble to make 12 more. Beating our competitor in contracts will mean we'll have to be efficient on choosing ones that we can succeed in. However, I made the trade-off that we would make money rather than time. So we are catching up to our rival in money. However, it's still a long ways to go. Manzanilla looks quite pretty, rather tropical setting. Let's take a look at our choices. Fueling up. Prices are a little higher here, but I think I'm going to make sure we have plenty of fuel. Now I have an interesting set of choices. Havana has 2 pretty good paying ones. It won't fill up my ship and will commit me going east. We'll turn that one off. Let's go up to Los Angeles. Los Angeles has some nice paying jobs as well, and there are more of them. And because I'm going to try and make number of contracts, I'm going to look at the smallest size first and fill up the ship. Now, I could take this one or this one, but I can't take both. And in this case, I'm going to take the bigger one, fill up my ship completely, and have the more money. So in this case, I have 5 contracts, and all of them can be made on time. Will that be enough to let me beat our competitor? Do I want to commit myself to continuing north? I think I shall, because the more contracts we can make on time, the closer we can come up to catching up to our competitor and beating them. And I'll speed up time again to get us back up to Los Angeles. Made 2 million. That's not bad. We had back up to the money. Tugboat fees here aren't too bad. We'll live with it. Okay, 1.9 million. So we made decent money on this trip. I'm going to basically go through our objective choices. Now, back down to Manzanilla. But I want to run that one light. We're fairly well committed to going up to Metro and Vancouver, so I'm going to give up on this very nice bonus that we can't make on time to Manzanilla because we cannot go both directions at the same time. However, this one here is very attractive for money. So I'll commit to the short time duration, high pay one, and then I'm going to go with take the smallest ones first. But when we run out of space, we'll take the biggest one that will fit. That fills up our ship completely, I believe. Fairly close anyway. Yeah. We have 800 loaded. I'm going to refuel here. Most of the time you will be happy to refuel every time you hit a port, but some times you'll have prices that are higher and you don't want to pay the money. In this particular mission, we are more interested about completing contracts than we are about making money, but both things are a factor. Decent money for this trip. Okay, and here's the wharf. Now we can't buy new ships, but this would be one of the ports where you can buy them at. Only a port that has a wharf can sell ships. It allows you to get more of them. We can't buy any new ships, so we don't have to worry about that at this point, but it is part of the game. Buying more ships, expanding your company, there is an awful lot to do once we are beyond the point of simply running one ship and making more money taking cargoes. Now here we have a range of choices. Now, Anchorage has a nice set of high-paying jobs. I can't take all of them. So I can run up to Anchorage, or you can do Los Angeles, Manzanilla again. Which also has good options. Run down the coast south again. Running to Houston has a very nice chunk of money, or kind of one that we cannot possibly make on time. And Honolulu is simply out of the way of everything else, so I don't know if we'll make any trips to Honolulu. So let me take a look. We can't take all the Anchorage ones as they won't all fit, but we can take 4 of them if we are careful. But we can't because the weight is too high. So we can get 3 trips to Anchorage, or that one would be assuredly a penalty, and I think I'm going to try and make successful runs first. Yeah. And it commits us to going south. Anchorage would give us more money, but this gives us, I think, more successful jobs. So we're going to take those. On this screen, you can see what the total capacity and total payment is going to be for all of them. Look over your contracts before you say confirm, because sometimes you'll have clicked on something that you decide is not a good idea afterwards. And we'll continue onward. Now we're making good money. I'm going to pause it here and take a look at our status. 19. Oh, we managed to outnumber our opponent in successful contracts, so we have succeeded in one goal. We've done 19 contracts, so I'm sure we're going to succeed in goal number 2. We're actually doing pretty good this time. So, while I'm looking at things, I'm going to pop up something here. On the game menu, there's a glossary. It has some useful terminology and information about the game. This is very nice. It's a quick reference to let you get a bit better feel about what the game is all about. Shows you the abbreviations for the units in the game. Basically, ships have both volume, and there are 3 kinds of cargo ships. We can only use the container ship right now, which carry, boxcar type of, containers in, package cargo. There are bulk ships that carry on-package cargo, things in big bags or raw materials. coal, salt, plastics, scrap metal, metal ores, things like that. And there are tanker ships that carry liquids, oils, chemicals, things like that. Each type of ship basically has its own set of cargo choices it has in ports. We can't buy the ships yet, so we'll continue the game. That's a good reference for going into what the game is about. And while I'm paused, I'm going to take a look at our map.